Good morning. I'm Christina McInnes with Coffee with Cristina. It's Tuesday, 11 a.m. We're here as usual. I have my coffee. I'm a little under the weather. I had a cold over the weekend, so I sound different today. But nonetheless, we're pushing through it. Today I have with me Jeff Francis. He is from River's Edge. I'm here in Yuma. They are an assisted living facility. And he's here to talk about assisted living facilities and what they are and what they provide. So, Jeff, I'd like to introduce you to our viewers, and tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do at River's Edge.
Thank you. Yes. So once again, thank you, Christina. My name is Jeff. I am the resident service director here at River's Edge Assisted Living. We are a newer assisted living facility in Yuma. And we're here to provide services to our community, to residents and family members, and to provide housing and assistance with activities of daily living and medications and things like that. We get new residents in and we provide care for them. We try to keep them as independent as possible. So your loved ones or even yourself, maybe you could come in and still live your everyday life and do everything that you can do on your own. And then we just provide a little bit of assistance with the things that you can't quite do on your own anymore, or that your relatives can't quite do on their own anymore. So we have care staff around the clock that helps assist with activities of daily living, such as dressing, brushing your teeth, using the restroom, just simple things that people take advantage of every day. That they don't think about, that they just do. Some people have difficulties doing these things or completing these activities, and that's what we're here for. We're here for anyone who they just need a little extra help.
But you're non-medical, is that correct?
Correct, yes. We're not considered a medical facility. The only thing that we do that might be considered medical to some people would be helping with medications.
Okay, and do you provide reminders, or do you actually administer?
So we do provide medication reminders for residents who don't need any additional assistance, and then residents who do need assistance with their medications, we can help administer those to them.
Very good. That's awesome. Well, I'm so glad that you're here today. So I wanted to know, what is the difference between an assisted living and a nursing home or another care facility?
That's a great question. So a nursing home requires a little bit more care. So there are nurses on staff. There's usually sometimes a doctor on staff that can come around and do rounds and view their patients. And that's what they are. They are patients at a nursing facility. So with assisted living, it's a little bit different, as you'd mentioned. We don't have patients. We have residents. You are a person living here at the facility, and you can come and go as you please in most cases. And we are just here to provide additional help for you for your regular activities. In a nursing home, it's people who need additional care. That's a little bit more intensive, a little more personal and customized and detailed care. So if you have a specialty diagnosis and you're recovering from that, and you're not quite able to do things independently on your own, you may require housing in a nursing facility temporarily until you can kind of recover a little bit and return to the community and perform the regular activities that you once could. The brushing your teeth, the bathing, the toileting, all of those things would happen at assisted living. So we're similar in that we provide care, but we're different in that we don't provide medical care.
Yeah.
We provide these assistance with these regular activities.
And that's great. I mean, having your loved one in an assisted living facility really feels like they're still at home, but they just have someone there in case they have a fall or another type of just a check-in, really. So they each have their own independent rooms or places where they stay in the facility. Okay.
Yes. So each resident has their own apartment. We do have apartments available that can be shared as well. So there are different kinds of assisted living facilities out there. Some of them are converted from hotels and things like that. So they're already set up with all the amenities that you could need: laundry, activities areas, dining areas. There's all sorts of stuff at an assisted living facility.
That's so awesome.
Yeah, it's a really great place for, let's say someone's relative is ill, or they're disabled, and they need that little extra assistance. But well, I guess I could just share a personal story. I think it's a little bit better.
Yeah, absolutely. I would love that.
So my in-laws, they were living in the middle of nowhere in Alabama, and my father-in-law was diagnosed with stage 4 metastatic prostate cancer, and my mother-in-law had multiple sclerosis for about 22 years.
Oh my gosh!
They were living out in the woods. It was a house with plumbing and things like that, but it was really far from the closest hospital, the closest care facility, or even people who could provide any level of care to them whatsoever. So we moved them out here to Arizona with us, and we provided the care that we could. But it became difficult to provide that assistance to them on such a regular, steady basis, to help with things like getting my mother-in-law to the restroom, and help with changing my father-in-law's brief, which is, for some people that don't know, an adult diaper.
Right.
And it's emotional for the relatives, for the family members who are trying to provide care. And it's also emotional and somewhat embarrassing at times for the person that needs that assistance or needs that care, because they no longer have that independence and they can't do those things for themselves anymore. Right. So if they still can provide some, level of self-care, if they still can get around, then we might be the perfect fit for them. Assisted living might be the way to go. Now, if they still want that feeling of independence and they still want to do things with other people, but unfortunately they don't have the ability to get to the restroom on their own or feed themselves, then assisted living might also be a great place for them. My situation with my in-laws, the reason I brought that up is because there was a point where I was providing most of their care and assisting with most of the activities that they do on a daily basis.
Right.
With work and my children and my wife, it was a lot to balance.
Absolutely.
Going to work and working, and then going home and working, and not having that break. Yeah. So for a good period of time, we had found an assisted living facility here in town for them to stay at, so they could still take advantage of their independence and the things that they could do, and then the things that they needed that assistance with, they could get those extra levels of care added on. They could get that additional assistance. We were able to visit them every day. We were able to bring them home, and they could come visit with the kids and our pets and everything. So it was really nice, because it was like they were still there with us. Yeah. But we didn't have to break our backs doing all of that extra work.
Well, it also gave them the dignity of being on their own.
Exactly.
Still getting taken care of, but not having, so that you as a family member can enjoy visiting with them and taking the time to be with them, instead of taking that time to help them with other things, and instead of being able to enjoy their company.
Very well put, definitely.
Yeah.
We often take for granted the times that we have with our loved ones.
Oh, absolutely.
And just that sitting there in the same room and not speaking, just that time alone, it means everything in the world. And absolutely. When you have to do everything for another person, it becomes difficult to enjoy that time, to enjoy that quality time that you have with them.
And that's what you want.
The facility allowed us to still enjoy that time and share that time with them. And then it gave them more of an independence, so they didn't feel like they were relying on us or a burden on us, and they could get the care that they needed.
Right, exactly. I think that is, it's awesome what assisted living facilities do. I think it's a great transition, and it kind of, some people can't afford to have like in-home care because they're charged, hourly, and so being in an assisted living facility, it kind of is all inclusive, 24 hours, but it doesn't cost as much as having somebody stay in your home, so it's kind of more cost effective as well.
Definitely, yes. So you did mention all inclusive, and that's what was running through my mind. So you're a mind reader this morning, Christine. It is.
It must be. It's my coffee.
So with assisted living at our facility,
Yeah.
we provide the housing, we provide the meals, we provide activities. So all of the residents have the opportunity to participate in social group activities to get out there and not isolate themselves.
And that's so important too. You have to have the psychosocial in there, because I think that's when people kind of like lose hope that either A, nobody's listening to them, or B, nobody cares. And
Right.
that's the last thing that you want your loved one to feel.
Mm-hmm.
So having their independence and also being looked after, it just gives them the best of both worlds, you know?
It does. It really
Now,
does.
if they were to, so if somebody is in assisted living and they would need at some point a higher level of care, then is that when they would actually go to a nursing home or a care facility?
They would either, it really just depends on the type of care and what's needed exactly.
Okay.
In assisted living, we do have residents that are on hospice.
Oh, you do? Okay.
Comfort care or end of life services, and they're receiving these services and they can't do these activities for themselves. But
Right.
The hospice agency does come in and they send nurses in to provide these extra little, additional levels of care at kind of like on a scheduled basis. So they'll come in 1, 2, 3, 4 times a week and provide care to their residents, while we still provide the medication administration assistance, and we provide the other assistance with their regular activities of daily living. We still, even with hospice, we try and get our residents involved with activities and things like that, because as you mentioned, yes, the psychosocial is extremely important.
Absolutely.
It's very important to keep people social, and some people aren't very social, but just to keep them feeling involved.
Now, just specifically to River's Edge, do you accept patient or residents that have dementia or early or any kind of Alzheimer's?
Our facility, we do not accept what is called memory care.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we don't have the facility for that.
Yeah.
There are assisted living facilities that do accept memory care residents who have symptoms of dementia or diagnoses of Alzheimer's or other memory related issues.
Okay, very good. So just as a kind of a follow-up, like if you're looking for an assisted living facility, like what are the best type of questions to go in to ask while you're exploring the options?
There are a lot of things that you want to consider. You want to ask questions about the contract. How long is your contract for? Just like looking for a place to live. You might have a place that's month to month and you don't have a contract. You can just move in and you pay your month's rent and you move out the next month if you want to. Some assisted living facilities may have a year contract. Our facility here is on a month to month basis. So if you move in and you decide you want to move out like in the future, we just ask that you give us 30 days notice. Other things you might want to consider outside of the contract are how much care you need. So it's really important to understand the level that you or your family member is at and what it is that you need. Because some people feel, I just want to be completely independent and I don't want to get the help that I don't need from other people. But some people feel that they get their wants and their needs mixed up. And
yes, that is so true.
And they might feel like they want to, walk to the restroom, but it's kind of difficult to do that if you're wheelchair bound and you don't have the ability to walk to the restroom, or if you need an electric scooter and you're not, your house isn't accessible.
Yeah.
So you want to consider a lot of different things, but the biggest one is kind of knowing and understanding yourself or your family member and what their limitations are and what their needs are. So if they have more complex medical needs, it might be a nursing home that they need to look into.
Yeah.
If it's a little less complex, or if they have more of the ability to be independent and do some things on their own, then assisted living might be the way to go. But you can always call an assisted living facility and ask them if you think that you're a good fit, or if your family member might be a good fit, and they can, in most cases, send someone out to do an assessment and meet with you, and even bring you in and give you a tour of the facility and talk about whether this is the right facility for you.
Yeah, I think that's amazing. And Jeff, I appreciate you being here today. Um, this has been very informative. I hope that a lot of people, it kind of triggers something in their mind to give you a call if they have any other questions. I listed your phone number up here, 928-276-9057. For anybody out there listening that maybe just wants to have a conversation and just get more information on what is out there, what is available, I think Jeff would be an excellent resource for that. Jeff, I want to thank you so much for your time today. And you have some great insight in this. And yeah, it's just mind blowing. And there's so many options out there, and it's just
there's one more thing. I'm sorry, Christina, that I did want to mention too. Assisted living isn't just for the elderly. Okay. I want everyone to know that assisted living is for anyone 18 and older who is either disabled and needs that additional assistance, or even is retired and they might need additional assistance with their medications or anything like that. So that's one final thing I wanted to add.
Well, adding on to that, I mean, we're running a little bit over, but do you accept clients that are just disabled, like developmentally disabled, 18 and over, or is it just?
Our facility does not currently accept or have the ability to accommodate for those that have developmental disabilities.
Okay.
But it really depends on the diagnoses, because there are some developmental disabilities where someone is completely independent and able to care for themselves. They may just be a little bit dyslexic and need assistance reading something. So someone like that, we would definitely be able to assist and accommodate. But if it was like autism spectrum disorder, and they had extreme difficulty, interacting or socially, or even had any physically aggressive behaviors, it might not be the best fit for them.
Yeah. Okay. And there are other places out there that do assist.
Oh yes.
Depending on the level of care that's needed. So, well, I once again, one other question. I know we're way going over, but it's okay. When do you think it is an appropriate time to start looking for an assisted living facility, maybe versus staying in your home? We kind of went over it a little bit, but is there like something that were to happen, like a constant falling, or like what is it, or when is the best time to maybe start looking into getting the extra help?
I think that it would be great for people to plan ahead and think, a couple of years down the road, hey, I might need something like this. Gather all of the information that you can as soon as you can, and just know what your options are and what's available to you. Because at any point, someone could become disabled. At any point in their life. So they can step out into the street, with a green light and a crosswalk signal to walk, and something happens terrible. So I think that it would be great for people just to educate themselves on what's available in their area and what places offer what levels of care.
Yeah, I agree.
General education for the population would be best.
Yeah, well, this is why we have these podcasts, just to kind of keep it fresh in people's mind what the resources are out there, primarily for our seniors, but like you said, for anybody 18 and over, because you never do know what. But also, as you had mentioned, if you or your relative are a fall risk, you've fallen multiple times in the last month, or even if you've fallen once and you're concerned about it or you're scared, there are assisted living facilities have call pendants. It's kind of like a life alert like system, except instead of calling your emergency contacts in 911, you push the button and a care staff responds, within a minute or so, and they will get to your room and they'll assist you. And then as soon as you're helped up, they'll contact your healthcare team and make sure that everything is coordinated and that you're properly cared for. Perfect. All right. Well, thank you so very much, Jeff, for your time. Did you want to add anything else, or?
I think that's it. If anyone has any questions about assisted living, or if you're interested in looking into assisted living facilities, please give us a call at 928-276-9057. We're one of the many options that are out there, but we pride ourselves in the care that we provide.
That's awesome. And you guys are awesome. I have worked with you, with your organization, with April, quite a few times. And yeah, you guys are great. You guys are doing a great job. So thank you so much for all that you do for our community. So
Well,
I'm gonna close out now. Thank you everyone who's watched live today. It did go over a little bit, but I hope that you all enjoyed it. Maybe learned a few things. Pass along this message to any of your loved ones that might need that extra help, and consider assisted living as an option. All right. With that, I'm signing out. I will see you guys next week. We will have a Better Business Bureau on. We'll be talking about scams that are out there for seniors and how to avoid what is going on if you feel like you have been a victim. So we have a guest speaker to talk about that next week. So should be interesting, and I'll see you guys then. Thank you so much, and thank you so much, Jeff.
Thank you.
Have a great day.